I have been living in Europe for the past 2 years and I wouldn't trade it for anything. However, there are some American products that I did miss. I wouldn't ever give up living in Europe for these products, but there are a few things where you're like, yeah, that's kind of nice, and I did kind of miss it. So I just kind of wanted to go through a few things. None of these are serious. It's just kind of just little things. I thought it would just be interesting if anyone else, who's been living in Europe as an American and kind of grew up with these things also kind of miss them as well. They're just kind of small, silly things, most of them, but some of them, they are kind of nice. Like being back now for a month, I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of nice to have. Wouldn't trade it, but it is kind of nice. So I think the first and the biggest thing for me is good air conditioning. I guess it depends where in Europe you live. I was in Barcelona, which can be quite a warm place, especially in the summer. And I was lucky in one of my apartments, I did have air conditioning, but all the other places I lived did not. So it can get really hot, especially in the summer. Like last summer, we had 95 degrees and some humidity. It was just super brutally hot, even with fans and cooling pads. And the ice rag thing, if you get a rag wet and put it in the freezer and then put it on you, it helps to kind of cool down for yourself and for the dogs. So that, and also just stores aren't as well air conditioned. Even like grocery stores or just regular shopping stores, the bus, they do have air conditioning running, but it's just they don't run it a ton to actually make it like cool. The gym and everything, same thing. Like they keep it cooler than outside, of course, but it still feels pretty warm, I gotta say. So it is nice here going into stores from the outside when it's really hot to go in and actually feel like good air conditioning. So that's been pretty nice. And at home here, we have air conditioning, thankfully, and ceiling fans are really big here. That's another thing in Spain. Ceiling fans are not big, and I kind of think they would be because it's a lot cheaper to keep a ceiling fan running than air conditioning. But there, most people, we just have like stand-up fans on the floor or desk fans, which I had as well, just to kind of keep airflow going without having to like really crank the AC if I needed to, at least in the one place. Every other place I didn't. So definitely needed all those fans. But that is one thing that has been nice, especially in a place here where it gets up to 120 degrees in the summer. You need some kind of cooler airflow if possible. So that's been a big thing that I have been enjoying. Next is also we have an ice machine in the kitchen. I know a lot of American fridge freezers, they have built-in ice machines into those things. But here, we actually have a separate one because if you live in Arizona or anywhere warm, the water that comes out of the sink is not cool or cold at all. It's very room temp. I think because it is so hot, it just can't cool. So it's really nice to have an ice machine. I mean, you can always like get a Brita or something and keep water in the fridge or stuff like that, or have, the ice packs in your own freezer. But having an ice machine here is really nice to kind of keep everything cooler and to kind of cool off the water because it just doesn't get cold here, even in the showers and things like that. So even our pool gets hot in the summer here. It's so hot. So it's nice to have ice readily available to be able to cool off drinks when you need it, especially after you've been outside for a while or anything like that. So that's been a really nice perk of being back as well. And a lot of restaurants put ice in their water and their drinks also. You don't have to pay extra for it. It's very common here. So that has been kind of a nice thing also being back. Next, a really big thing, especially in the winter, is having a dryer for clothes. As most people know, in Europe, dryers are not a thing. You're lucky if you have a washer in your apartment, which I always did. But having a dryer, especially in the winter season, in the summer, it really wasn't too bad, especially if you have a balcony with some airflow. Most of my clothes, depending on the type of fabric, could be dry within, especially middle of the day, couple hours. Out in the sun with some wind, they would dry pretty fast on the balcony, so it really wasn't too bad. But the winters can be really tough, definitely not as warm. And if it's like rainy or stuff, then you have to keep it inside, and clothes can take, especially like thicker like sweaters or blankets, can take days to dry. So that was really tough. Like I feel like every couple days I was just washing clothes and stuff just because I knew it would take 3 or 4 days to dry and I would need those things again. So that is really tough. Here it's really nice to have a washer and dryer. So within 2 hours, pretty much, I could do a whole load of clothes, or if I need to wash my sheets or blankets or towels, things like that, it could be dry and ready to go in a couple hours if I needed something, you know, for dinner or later in the evening. So that's really nice to have. Definitely a perk. It's okay without, but yeah, winters, that can be pretty tough when it comes to the clothing drying, and especially if you have thicker blankets or thicker sweaters, that stuff, it takes forever. Next is kind of more just like random food things that aren't available in Europe. It's probably like because they're stricter with chemicals, and so it's probably good that they're not there. But there are a couple of things that I did kind of miss. One thing people will know, I really love spicy popcorn and spicy chips. And while technically, at least in Spain, they do have those things, they're not spicy. They're just kind of different seasonings, and they don't have a ton of spice to them. I wouldn't consider them spicy. But they are pretty spicy here. So that is one just kind of small thing I do enjoy. But I haven't been buying that much here because a bag of chips here, it's like $5. It's crazy. Versus in Spain at the grocery store, a bag of chips is like 90 cents or something, under $1. So that's been a big adjustment, but it has been nice just to have that option if I do want it. Also, pre-made cookie dough has been kind of nice. I know that's just kind of like a lazy thing, but sometimes it's nice to just have it in the fridge, and then I can just like make one or two in the air fryer quickly, and I don't have to like make up a whole thing. And like in Spain, you don't have mixers and stuff like that because you don't have room in your kitchen, so it is a lot harder to even make up the dough yourself. So it's kind of nice here that it's just kind of pre-made in there if needed for something. Or one of my friends, we would like to watch the same shows, and we'd have some wine and cookies and stuff, and we'd get together with other people. So that was just kind of a nice simple thing to have. Also for me too, coffee creamer I do like. It isn't a thing in Spain. I would just do like some brown sugar and then just regular milk. I'm not picky with the milk. I do like the other milks, but for me, whole milk is just fine, and they have good milk in Spain that's local. So just having that, so just having some variety. They do have some flavors and stuff, but it's just not as common. So it's kind of nice here if I wanted to do more of like a mocha thing or a caramel or white chocolate. Also, peppermint isn't really a thing in Europe. So getting some, I'll definitely bring some back. So like in the Christmas season, I do like putting peppermint in just to kind of have like a seasonal flavor. I think it's kind of nice. I'm not a big pumpkin fan per se, but the peppermint I do like for the holidays. So that'll be good. And then lastly is also Trader Joe's and Costco. Yes, I know there is 2 Costco's in Spain. I think one by Madrid and one by Sevilla, but I never had a chance to go. I was never kind of by those areas nor needed to. But if anybody knows me knows I love those 2 stores. I think they have good quality products for the price, especially nowadays with how expensive everything is getting, and the stores, they just have good customer service. Costco too has a really good return policy. If something doesn't work, you can return it. A lot of stores now, if something doesn't work or whatever, you really can't return it. It's a lot harder. I don't know if that's just from the customer service or just because a lot of people do use stuff and return it when it's not really broken. I'm sure that plays a part of it as well. But that's been really good. And then especially now buying food on a budget, Costco and Trader Joe's do have a lot more like better price things than some other stores. Like melons, for example, at the regular stores here, they do cost the same as Costco, but the Costco ones are bigger, so you're actually getting more for the same price. So $5.99 melon, you can get a lot more at Costco. So I've been buying a couple things like that where it's a lot better price. And especially too, like now, like dog food, I can buy just a really big bag for the dogs, and it lasts a lot longer than kind of the smaller bags, especially for Wanda, who eats a little bit more. But also just the Kirkland brand products, like their clothing is good, and a lot of their like food and like cleaning stuff is pretty much the exact same as the name brand stuff, but a little bit better deal. So that's kind of nice to have. And if you have the credit card, the membership is free, so you don't have to pay anything for it. So that's really nice. And Trader Joe's has a lot of good products too. I just got the new sunscreen oil they came out with, but I'm a big fan of their face sunscreen. and a few of their other, like they have shampoo and conditioner that I personally like and think works good. It's like $3 or $4 or something for a good size one, which in America is pretty cheap because everything here is so expensive. And some of their like seasonings and stuff are still good deals, only $1 or $2 versus I noticed at Safeway the other week, like some just regular seasonings, they're more like $4 or $5, so about double the cost. So it's good to buy stuff there. And they also have their own brand of food, some of their food and products as well for good pricing. So that's nice. Both stores a lot of times also do samples, which is nice. So you can kind of try a few things if they have it out before you buy it to make sure that you like it. So that's kind of a nice perk as well. So I did kind of miss those couple of stores, but these are just a few of the things I have kind of missed. Nothing is a deal breaker. I wouldn't give up living in Europe for these things, but they are kind of nice to have when I'm here. So just kind of wanted to be, I guess positive for the American stuff, because I know most of the stuff here for me is not, but those are a couple of things I have been enjoying. And let me know if there's other things as an American living in Spain that you missed as well. And bring back over and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.